Deepthi on my screen. So let's welcome our next speaker, Deepthi. So she's going to talk about blind teams and bold leadership, how we can build strong, flexible teams and lead with a confidence. So over to you, Deepthi, with a quick intro. You can start your session.
Just give me a moment, Nirmala, before I start. All right, am I audible? Am I visible?
Yes,
Am I
yes.
audible? Am I visible? Both the questions are done. Um, Thanks, team, for joining here. Thank you. How are you all? Very good evening. Time to say good night, but I'm saying good evening because we still have few more hours, right? I don't want people to sleep when I'm talking. So at least I'll make sure that you don't sleep, you don't have that lullaby with my talk. So before I start my session, I'm Deepthi Yeragudipati. I'm an agile coach um, that is paying my EMI. So I'm an agile coach there. And rest all interested psychology enthusiast, aspirant of ICF PCC career coaching and leadership coaching, along with a nudge of parental coaching. You can see the parental stuff in my talk as well, because being a mother of 11-year-old, the parental mode always carries because you can do any job. 33% of I'm 33% agile coach, 33% psychology enthusiast, 33% of professional speaker, which I'm venturing into, and 1% of a lazy bug. But in all those roles, I'm 100% mother. um, all done. So everyone refreshed with the intro. That's me, Deepthi Yeragudipati. I'll start with a question. How many of you are feeling after the talk with Rajarshi Arjun, Ketan, everyone speaking about AI agents, AI chatbots? Diti is going to speak about bold leadership. How many of you are feeling this is all about leaders, not for me? Anyone has that question? This session is for the leaders. I don't have the title of a leader to me. I'm a scrum master. I'm a product owner. I'm a developer. Why I should be bothered about being a leader? I don't have the title of a leader. Now I'm getting more nervous because they have spoken a lot. All the speakers before me have spoken a lot about the AI. Trust me, friends, you don't need to have a title called as a leader. You are a conflict resoluter. You are questioning a bias. You are bringing some new norm into a team with your conversation. You are enabling someone to act in whichever role you play. You encourage a scrum master to facilitate the session. You encourage a product owner to write a clear user story. You question the norm of your team, then you are a leader. So first bit myth that got busted is like, you don't require a title or a tag to be called as a leader to show your leadership qualities. So, welcome to Blended Teams and Bold Leadership. Leading with clarity, conscious, and collaboration in human AI hybrid teams. Let me take you to a world. It's not a new world. That's what we are seeing today in our team rooms. Let me take to a team room where half of your team sitting on the other side of the table have three P's with them. What is the first P? They have the pulse, they have the passion towards their career, and they have the paycheck, right? Where the other side of the team just is like a chitty robo of 1 terabyte speed or 1 zettabyte memory, which doesn't gossip with about their manager, which don't receive any performance appraisal, which don't receive a feedback, which Amber has spoken about the power of the feedback, which is our first keynote session. This doesn't require any feedback. They're just silent. They don't call you for a cup of coffee. Is this a new norm? No. Our teams today are flesh and code because Our teams have the AI chatbots, our team have the AI agents. So we have to live with this scenario. In that case, we have conflicts with human. Yes, who has to own which piece, who has to lead, who has to take the initiative. This doesn't work, this works. Are we also conflicting with the chatbots and the agents? Yes, we have a conflict over that. It is a conflict of coexistence. Who has to, because I'm a human, I'll have a burnout. Will my chatbot can sense my burnout? And I'm a human. Will I have the same processing speed of 1000x like my chatbot or an AI agent? Absolutely not. That is the situation of a conflict. Is this scenario new to us? Is it something new to us actually? Absolutely not. We were in this scenario from 1950s itself. We know the first industrial AI robot was made in 1950. And in 2025, these agents and this AI agentic, multimodal agentic, whatever the AI technology we are speaking about, is established, is ruling the toughest industries, what we call from the finance, from the medical to our home. It has entered our home. The AI chatbots, the ML, the agents, whatever you call it, has entered our homes. But how to lead this? Can I use the same leadership lens that I'm using in the past? I'm talking about transformative leadership. I'm talking about emotional intelligence. I'm talking about empathy. I'm talking about situational leadership, whatever the kind of leadership. All these leadership theories were there in the past when we are talking about the human aspect. Now I'm in a scenario where I'm talking about a hybrid team which is having both human and AI. I need to deal with three B's. I need to deal with the brains, which the human have. I need to deal with the bytes. I need to deal with the beliefs of the people. Dealing with three B's. Do you think it is a toughest job or an easiest job for a leader? Does the leader need to care even about those chatbots or the agents, which is just a code? Yes, it has to be absolutely taken into consideration. Otherwise, you will not have an outcome driven leadership. This is an era of outcome driven leadership. Rather than calling it as an empathetic leadership or rather than calling it as a situational leadership, we need to have an outcome driven leadership. For me to have those kind of leadership plans, I found like human intelligence, artificial empathy, and the tech savviness are the three lenses that the leaders have to focus upon. If I have to focus upon this, what should I need to do? I have two different molecules. I can say this to you. What is essential for a human being or any organism to live? Probably I might be missing something in the chat. Most tough job, who knows future this is possible. Oxygen, yes, very good. Just a program. What oxygen is required? What else is required? What else is required for us? Water. Camel also needs a water after some days. Agreed? Camel also needs water. How does water come from? Can I have just one molecule? Oxygen itself is sufficient for us for living? No. Water is required. Can I have water directly from one component or one molecule? I need two molecules of hydrogen and one molecule of oxygen together forms the water. So, if I need something for the survival, The chemist, the person who loves chemistry in my grade 12, I felt the synergies in the flask. To lead these hybrid teams, I need human empathy and artificial intelligence. Is those been sufficient? What components that I need to mix up in this human empathy? What needs to be considered in the artificial intelligence? Again, the mother had, I was teaching my daughter, who is 11-year-old, the timeless periodic table. Then that made me to know the periodic table of leadership, which is like it should have a cognitive catalyst, it should have an emotional equator, it should have an interfacing influencer, and it should have an execution engine, and it should have fusion traits. I felt these five are very, very relevant for the leaders. The reason not that those look very fancy or those are ChatGPT given. I found that very relevant because if I take cognitive catalyst, how many of you remember your periodic table first? Do you know that periodic table has like 18 groups with 7 periods and all? Do you remember? I'm taking you back to your grade 7 or grade 8 chemistry, grade 9, and it longs even to your intermediate 2, even to your plus 2, 12th grade as well. If this is the case, when I say cognitive catalyst, it is your like alkali and alkaline, which helps you to drive the things, to think what are the bases, what is the basic foundation, and are highly reactive. When I'm talking about your emotional equators, those are like your D blocks, which makes you have the trust, which creates you that the desired outcome can come through. And if I have the interfacing influencers, these are like transition metals, which helps you to have the what you call, say for example, if I'm having like, I need to connect, I need to make a connection, I need to influence people, I need to have highly adaptable and dynamic environment. In such cases, you need to have the interfacing components. And the execution engines, of course, those are like your catalysts, want to give you the results. And fusion traits are like your halogen and noble gases, which leave you with a long lasting legacy. That is how this periodic table has come from. And when I say the AI ready leadership, where you need to have the artificial logic and emotional mastery, has to have the 3H, which is your heart, which is your head, and which is your hardware. So when I'm talking about this cognitive catalyst, the influencing interfaces, the emotional equators, the execution engines, and the fusion traits, I got a lot of components like analytical agility, vision, decisions and synthesis, problem landscaping. I can put a number of things in anything. But if today we ask, how many elements do you remember in your periodic table? Hardly I can say hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, chlorine, sodium. I don't know. Only very few, which is relevant for me day in, day out. Even after studying like 20 years back, if you ask me how many do you remember, I can say hardly 10 to 15. The similar way, the very important cognitive catalyst for us, because this C block cognitive catalyst is something that is important. What AI to think with you, What do you want AI to think with you? This four is very important, which is like you want your AI chatbot or your AI agent think in line with your PI vision. Whatever you say, this is my PI commitment. You want your AI also to be in align with it. You want that to be adaptable, and you want that also need to have a data sense, like human centered insights and decisions. Whatever you take as a human, saying like this could be our test strategy or this could be our deployment strategy. This is what we as a scrum masters communicate, right? And what could be the augmentation that you do, saying like I want to replace the human with AI. Rather than using that word, how can I use the AI produced results for the advancement of the human brain? Rather than replacing the human, I want to increase the cognitive power of the human. That should be your cognitive catalyst. And when I am speaking about the transition metals, which are your interfacing influencers, give the interface clarity, what you want to communicate, how you want to communicate, how you need to do that work with the AI, whatever within the tool. Within it could be your co-pilot. It is AI chatbot or AI agent is like your team player with whom you need to communicate through the prompt graph, right? If you don't, excuse me, if you don't ask the right prompt or don't ask the right question, it will not give you the better results. And listening, it's a listening 2.0, my friends, like Robo 2.0. It is not the listening communication skills which we were doing in the past. Turning the output results, saying like if you went there this wrong, rather than blindly believing AI, or rather than saying like AI didn't understand what I require, rather than questioning the chatbot or misinterpreting the results, taking the output properly and validating that output, creating that output is your listening 2.0. And conflict alchemy, always don't look AI as a threat for us and for our jobs. It is we who have developed the artificial intelligence. It is not the AI that has developed us. It is we have the superior power over the artificial intelligence. So don't look the AI as a threat to us. Rather than give that clarity, we require this information from the AI, and we are the people who are validating the AI. When I am speaking about these components, the another important thing is the emotional equator. Understand the human emotions and designs for inclusion, trust decision, cognitive resilience, and human centricity. If you are a leader, assume you go with the bias stating that whatever the code that is written by your team member is less competitive than the code that is being given by a chat GPT. What would be the morale of the team member? This happens in many of the teams, my friends. You also know and you also can empathize with that. This happens in many teams. Even if a person writes a zero error code, it is being questioned like, hey, is it given by ChatGPT? Have you encountered these questions in any of your meetings? Or if you have written a beautiful lines of what do you call beautiful lines of an email, the first question they ask is like these days, oh, it's chat GPT driven. It is you who has given the prompt to the chat GPT asking, can you figure out? I mean, especially me being when I started practicing my professional coaching as well as my professional speaking activity, I asked ChatGPT sometimes in a prompt, give a use the direct speech, use the active voice, use the narrative style, use my style of previous prompting. I put all these questions in the chat GPT because I have my emotions, my strong basic and belief, which I learned and put into the English grammar from ages. I want to have that emotion in my speech delivery. And that's the same way we want to have that empathy being felt on us. This is mine. This is not chat GPT driven. Human centricity. Do you know? I can give you a very classic example of Google Duplex. And previously, Ketan has also quoted, I don't want to use the voice of an AI agent. The Google Duplex got failed because the reason is like people couldn't figure out whether I'm talking to an AI agent or whether I'm talking to a human actually. We need to build that trust design. You're talking to an agent, you're talking to a human. That brings the transparency, that brings the reliability. When I'm talking about all this, what is about the execution, the fastness, the momentum? These execution engines are like your project managers, my friends. They always count on budget, they always count on delivery, they always count on the happy paths, whether I made the delivery or not, how I am accelerating the decision, how I am accountable, what I am explaining, whether I'm aligned with my value or not, whether I'm asking the better questions or not. I said, right, Uh, the prompt craft also aligns with the value alignment. If I don't give a better prompt, how can I align with my value? If I don't prescribe in my prompt that I need a direct speech, I need the message in the active voice, I need the message in a narrative style, it should have a proper closure, it should have a proper takeaway. If I don't put whatever that is in my mind in the form of a prompt, if I don't ask those better questions, I cannot get the better responses. So these factors are solely helpful for us? Absolutely, absolutely not. The neural humility, the balance, the ethical intelligence, and the synergy sense. This is the leadership compass, the moral leadership compass. Values machine learning appreciates human cognition. This is what I was speaking. We didn't create, ChatGPT didn't create us. We created ChatGPT. And weighing the human needs and the ethical AI decisions equally. Previously, I'm seeing like even a 10-year-old now is going and asking a ChatGPT the question that needs to be asked to a Google. Is it the scenario with you as well? Previously, we used Google for everything. Now we are using ChatGPT for everything. Oh. Forget about the environmental security, environmental safety. How many gallons of water required to cool those servers whenever we hit the mission. All those is done. But for what question we need to rely on ChatGPT versus for what question we need to rely on the human intelligence and the human cognition. Even there are cases that people are asking, like, I don't know whether you have seen this kind of memes or not, where they are putting the image of a girl and a boy and saying, like, asking ChatGPT, is these two pictures make a perfect pair or is these two compatible? Forget about the astrology part, just with the picture. What question you need to ask a ChatGPT? That's the balance you need to get upon. And the ethical intelligence. We're talking now a lot about the ethics and integrity. Even the track 2 session is happening on the integrity and ethics of the artificial intelligence. Are we really applying the moral principles whenever we are asking something? What are the challenges over there? What are the opportunities we create? and cultivating the win-win outcome from a human AI teamwork. This is the fusion trait. This is the new leadership compass. When I said the leadership has to come in three H's and three B's, with the brain, belief, and bites, and also with the heart, with head, and with the hardware, whatever we have. Can I just use neural humility? Can I just find a balance? I take me as an example here. I take me as an example here. I want to have a blend leadership. I'm Deepthi Yeragudipati. I did a disc profile on me. I'm a dominant and I'm an influencer. I communicate very boldly. That is my trait. I can influence people by giving some facts. I do have some drainers in me, which is like if you give too many details to me, I just get lost out of what you're saying. I might be physically present and my brain switch off. And I take decisions this quick. Am I going to be a great player? Can you just make having all the dominant and influencers in the team, and will you able to generate the outcome driven leadership rather than the output driven leadership? Can you showcase that outcome driven leadership? Is it possible? Deepthi needs a teammate. Deepthi needs a teammate who complements Deepti's style. How an AI agent can be a great teammate to Deepthi? By applying the behavioral synergy, harmonizing the human emotions and the AI behaviors, having learning loops and empathetic interfaces, along with the navigational trust and the disruptive alignment, we can have the blend leadership, which is the new code for the conscious leadership. When I call the outcome driven leadership, this is the conscious leadership, so that I can have better outcomes. So, what should be my AI agent now? I know Deepthi is a human. Deepthi is having DI style. To complement Deepthi and to have my outcome driven leadership, to have outcomes in my team, to deliver better outcomes, who should be Deepthi's teammate? I'm creating an AI agent. I'm having an AI agent. This is Deepthi's behavior, where Deepthi can count fast. To complement Deepthi's behavior, the AI agent should be created in such a way it should validate the logic, it should check the quality, it should review fine details, because Deepthi is a quick decision maker. And Deepthi balance and retrospects, but Deepthi don't track outcomes. Deepthi don't track on the improvements. Someone needs to be a reflective thinker in the learning loop. And Deepthi can communicate boldly. I can communicate very boldly. But there could be a person who is an introvert in my team. I cannot support him. I cannot ensure the psychological safety. If my AI agent is also of the same nature, can we both be a good team players? My AI agent should be an empathetic communicator. That's what your voice agent speaks, as an empathetic communicator. I anchor boldness with integrity and clear justification. But if I have an agent who can complement me with reasoning paths and who can navigate trust and explaining it, it would be of a great combo. And if I have my agent who connects disruptions to long term value, it could be a strategic synthesizer. So, what should I blend to have my AI behavior? Can I just go and say, like, okay, Deepthi is DI? I just need logic here. Deepthi is Deepthi communicates boldly. I need an empathetic communicator. Which element from my periodic table now I have to take to blend this, to get the blend leadership? Further learning loops, you need to have cognitive catalysts, which is like critical thinking, curiosity, innovation, vision, argumentation. You can have anything. For navigating the trust, you need to have the influencing interfaces. And for behavioral strategy, you need to have emotional equators. For decision clarity, you need to have fusion traits. And ethical anchoring, you need to have execution engines. So you can blend your leadership style when you have a leadership periodic table in your hand with the blend leadership style. You can blend the three B's: the brains, bites, and the beliefs. Trust me, friends, you don't need to manage AI like how you manage the people, but you need three G's there, which is govern, guide, and grow. You need to guide your AI agents with this blend framework. Then you will grow as a team. And you need to also govern this. The reason is like trust, empathy, these emotional equators. It's not like a red chip you put in a robo that can feel the love. But this can be really empathized only with a human manager or a human leader. I don't want to call the name manager, but it can be led by a human leader. So, being an ethical AI leader in the future generation, you need to govern, you need to guide, and you need to grow. At last, if you ask me and if you say me, Deepthi, I can give the specifications to one of the team. They create the AI agents. I'm a simple engineer or I'm a simple scrum master. I'm a simple leader. I can just work on it. I will relate to Ketan's talk where he has shown the GPS, where he has shown uh, the speedometers. Who has made it? Did we make it? Did we made it? We are the people using it. But still, you need to know how to steer, how to control, how to bring the synergy. That is the reason you need to know the blend leadership in human AI hybrid teams, where you need to have the behavioral synergy, the learning loops, empathetic interfaces, navigational trust, and the disruptive alignment. With that, I open the forum for questions. Questions and feedback too, my friends.
Thank you, Deepthi. So maybe in case if you have any questions or feedback, you can raise your hand. And the time Deepthi mentioned feedback, you can see that the poll is rolled out on your screens.
I truly loved the way you combined the chemistry and agility AI, Deepthi. It's really very insightful and great combination of all these things. Somehow, like you made me remember all those seventh class and eighth class lessons where I had all these chemistry tables and all. And
Thank
nicely,
you so much.
nicely done.
Now you
So
can help your son, Subbu.
Yes, yes.
So I
with
could see
the
in the chat,
Nice,
like
nice
Samiha
session. Thank
mentioned,
you so much.
I hate chemistry, but I love the way you are explaining us. That's a comment from Samidha.
I was about
Thank
to
you
read
so
that, Satish.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so
So if you are satisfied, want to connect with me over LinkedIn, here is my LinkedIn QR code. Thank you, SSAG, for giving me this opportunity. SSAG was always someone who encourages the upcoming speakers and someone with the new thoughts. Thank you so much, Sharad, Satish, and Rituraj.
Thanks, Deepthi, for the great talk. I agree.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Deepthi. So,
Thank you, everyone.
sorry, go ahead. No,
Can
there
I
is a
stop
LinkedIn.
sharing?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, for everyone's benefit, we have already posted LinkedIn details of Deepthi. Maybe you can just click and start having the conversations from there. And thank you so much, Deepthi, for that inspiring session on the blend teams and bold leadership with a very unique topic itself. But for sure, you have given a very fresh perspective on how that inclusive, adaptable, linking with the chemistry, going into that 8th class standard books and everything. So it was quite interesting, and we were like very much focused to understand the concepts and everything. Thanks for that thoughtful the topic. So we really appreciate all your valuable insights, whatever you have shared today. So let's give Deepthi a virtual round of applause, please. Sastri Garu, can we have a certificate displayed on the screen for Deepthi?
Thank you so much.
I'm sharing, it's not visible.
No, I see. I'm speaking.
Okay, let me stop. Sorry, my bad. Is it up now? By any chance?
No. Maybe everyone are looking for another session from you, Deepthi. That is the reason it is coming. I am speaking.
Next time with physics concept.
Yeah.
Perfect, Subbu.
Yeah. Sastri, we can see the certificate now. So thank you so much once again, Deepthi, for a wonderful
Thank you.
session. So team, in case if you have any questions, you can just drop it in the chat box. Otherwise, tomorrow also we have an open session hour. So there also we can discuss. And on top of it, LinkedIn profile is being shared. So you can just follow and have the conversation going on there. Okay.
Thanks, everyone. Good night.
So on the same